Hi, my name is Emily Gensley. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. I was born in Iowa. I now live in Brussels, Belgium. I moved here about 6 months ago. I moved here on a whim, without a visa and without a work permit. So technically I only had about 3 months to figure my life out. And everything kind of started to fall into place. I now work for a luxury spa in Excel in Brussels, and I'm a yoga instructor and project manager. And my dream is pretty much coming into fruition, and I'm enjoying my life with my friends here in Brussels.
So this is my friend Nevada. She works for Green Light for Girls, a non-profit organization. It's a Friday night in Belgium, and we're drinking bubbles and making cupcakes for a fundraising event that we're doing on Sunday. So Nevada's going to tell you a little bit about herself.
Well, as Emily said, my name is Nevada. I am Serbian but grew up in Zimbabwe and South Africa. And I've been living here for about 3 years, studied at Boston University, Brussels. And how did Emily and I meet? Well, we met through a mutual connection. She came for help with her work permit and her papers. End of the story is, Emily got her papers in 2 weeks. I'm still waiting for mine 6 months later.
Go figure, that's Belgium.
So why did I move to Belgium of all places when most Americans think that Belgium, or Brussels for that matter, is located in Germany? So about April of last year I got out of a 5-year relationship with a Serbian in Phoenix, Arizona, and I decided that I wanted to go off on a backpacking adventure across Europe for as long as it took to regain that sense of self again. So I found myself in Brussels in Belgium for about a month of that time, teaching at an English youth camp, teaching yoga. Then I also found myself making friends across the country in Bruges, Antwerp, Ghent, and Brussels. And then at the end of that 4 months of traveling, I found myself in Rome, and I was on a flight back home, and I found myself calling home Belgium, and it just felt like I had a community of friends that welcomed me like family. So I headed back and spent my birthday in August here in Brussels. I went back home to the States, and I almost was in tears. And so when January came around and I told my family I was going to pick up and go, it wasn't any surprise that I was heading back to Brussels just to give it a shot and see what would happen. And the rest really is history. So what are the biggest challenges living in Brussels? First and foremost, my landlord only speaks French, so I only know very little bit of French. My second language is actually German. So signing a contract for 3 years was a little nerve-wracking. And the fact that you only have the options of signing for 3, 6, or 9 is very different than in the States, where I've only ever signed a 1-year contract because I've always moved every other year. The other major challenge is I love the fact that I don't have a car, but when it comes to baking 80 cupcakes in an evening and having to transport all those goods to your little flat becomes a challenge, because you can only bring home what you can carry, and your shoulders definitely get to work out.
And then take it up 3 flights of stairs.
Without a lift. So what sets me apart from other expatriates? I guess the fact that I just up and moved on a whim doesn't really seem extraordinary. The fact that I'm a yoga instructor in the United States, that's not so special either. A yoga instructor in Brussels, that's a little bit different. But I guess at the end of the day, my fallback plan, if things didn't work out here in Brussels, was to go visit a friend in Croatia, go sailing for a month, head off to India, study for a while, and then ultimately I guess I would have had to go back to the United States, reluctantly. And I would have set 6 cities, with numbers on a dice, and I would have thrown the die on the table and picked up my belongings and headed off. So what's different? I'm a hippie at heart, a yoga instructor. I love my life, and I just want to see where it takes me.